What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about PayPal. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what really came out associated to the company, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. With that, let's get right to it. So PayPal did go up 0.88%. And despite it only going up that amount, it was my saving grace within my portfolio. And so a lot of stocks were selling off today, largely because of PPI and retail sales coming in a little bit worse for wear. And plus, if you throw in CPI that came out on Tuesday, this is where you get the sell-off that happened today. But like I said, PayPal really flexed its strength, and so it did immediately right out the gate have a nice breakout to around 64.20. That was the high. Unfortunately, it did kind of retrace down, but I'll talk on all that when I go over the technicals. But despite the volatility though, leading into today, as I've been mentioning over the last several videos, ever since PayPal was roughly around $57, I did signal that it was due to go up to roughly around this range. So around $63, give or take. So hopefully you guys have been listening to me, averaging down or whatever accordingly. I did rotate some money out of SoFi, so I sold out of that, moved it to PayPal. I think that was kind of a very good decision. But all in all, today there was no actual news associated to PayPal, no SEC filings. Unofficially though, there was this. So PayPal CFO did say 100% of their $5 billion buyback is going to be occurring this year. So that is crazy. So like I said, even despite the technicals, which was really pushing PayPal higher, you have this, which in theory is going to artificially kind of prop up any stock. So all in all, crazy good news. And so in theory, that's what made PayPal so desirable today and why you did see so much big money gravitating towards it, because today there was 19.3 million shares being traded. 18.32 is the average. These are some of the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000. So big money was massively rushing into PayPal today. So I think all in all, definitely exciting times are still ahead, because I'm going to talk on technicals and where it is really pointing to it going in the short term. But starting off by going over some data points, more specifically shorts. So today's shorts did return 7.28 thousand shares. 2.01% of the free float is being shorted, and that works out to be 21.45 million shares overall are being shorted. I'm bringing this up more just to analyze rather than anything. PayPal definitely is not a squeeze play. So the fact that shorts were actually returning, it does kind of validate today's green day. So that all in all is kind of a good thing. Plus a lot of new 13Fs have been coming down the pipeline. So you do see, for instance, Vanguard reducing their position minorly. So they did reduce about 1.31% of their overall position. But aside from that though, you do see a lot of other ETFs increasing their position. So I think that's kind of a good thing. Of course, a lot of these institutions are taking advantage of the discounted value with PayPal, and obviously the sell-off that did happen due to their last earnings. But moving on from here though, starting off with options. So right over here, $33 million in calls being purchased versus 5.99 million in puts. So a lot of big money was getting into PayPal today through options. Sentiment wise though, 45% of all the options being done today were optimistic and bullish. And of those call options, there's a consensus for it to be roughly above $65, oddly enough, by the end of this Friday, so tomorrow. So kind of crazy stuff. Looking at puts, it is anticipated for it to be sub 62.50. So the risk versus reward is definitely very much there and pointing to higher highs. Like I already brought up, these are some of the transactions that occurred on the secondary market. These are the transactions right here that did occur on the dark pool. So this one, very active. A lot of large institutions as well as shorts typically like to use the dark pool. So these are all the transactions that did occur. So equally as active essentially as the secondary market. So that's kind of a good thing. More than 250 actual transactions that I can show right here. And then going into tomorrow. So right now with it at $63, it is trading between this pivot and this R1. So $60.34 is that next strong support. And then vice versa, $63.82 is going to be that next strong resistance. It did break above that, and that's actually one of the main reasons why it did trend down, as you can kind of see, because there was no real justified reason for it to be above this point right here. And so I did do a pre-market video. I've been talking on PayPal, so recommend you guys listening to that every morning. But aside from that, I did say that there's no real justified reason for it to be above this level of that 63.80. So this is why it did attempt. So big money was really propelling it higher, but like I said, no real justified reason for it to be at this stage today. So that's kind of, again, why I did retrace lower. So going into tomorrow, something to kind of watch for. One thing I just wanted to show you based on the Elliott Wave technicals, which again, a lot of people really do like, it has a pivot point of $63.10, which is exactly where PayPal is right now. But with that said though, it is anticipated for as long as it is above that pivot point for it to get between that $67.70 and $70.40. So in the short term, you could see a lot more highs coming. So that might be a good thing, bad thing. I'll leave it up to you guys to make that determination. But aside from that though, just to go over some of the current technicals. So on the actual chart, it is above a lot of the key pivotal moving averages. So the 50 and 100 day moving averages as well. It is on the higher percentile of the Bollinger Band. So that's kind of a good thing as well. As of right now, it is outside of it somewhat. So unless there's a justified reason for that to occur, it does typically retrace back into that. So that might also occur tomorrow, a little bit of a consolidation, but bigger picture, as I've kind of mentioned, I think the technicals are really pointing to higher highs. Looking at stochastic though, you do see a nice bullish deviation, so white line above the red as well. It is at 68, so still somewhat neutral. If it does continue this crazy run that's been on over this last little bit, you will get to kind of overbought territory. Again, nothing really wrong with overbought territory because it kind of was there for the most part of December and beginning of January, so nothing really wrong with that. But again, that's something to kind of consider, that usually while a stock is overbought, if there is negative news that does come out, this is why you kind of get a pullback associated to that. But number of retail investors have been getting in, so this is one of the rare cases in a stock that you do see both retail and institutions buying at the same exact time. So again, I feel like PayPal definitely has a lot of more upside to come. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on PayPal. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for an account with Moonwoo, throw $100 at it, and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. So take advantage of this. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.